Well, we've all gotten to do some pretty cool things this past year. Flying a float plane must have been one of them for you.
It was very cool, but to be honest, there wasn't enough room for myself and my camera person. So he got on the float plane and got to go up while I sat on the dock sad. But it was great. It was great for him, and he was very excited. And no, he wasn't really excited actually. But then when he got up there, he had more fun. He wasn't super jazzed, but they bite the bullet because they work hard. But this past year we got to do a lot of great things. Like I got to go up into the stars, helicopter, and you get to go to places. The advantage of our job is not only do we meet incredible people, but we get to do cool things. So that was something cool. I did get to go up in the air, just not in the flight planes. It was in a chopper. But we all get to do some fun stuff.
Kevin, you urban poled this year?
Oh yes, urban pole. So I'm known for two things around the office.
Wait, we should probably preface this because, we all got to go on airplanes and do cool things, and then Kevin did the story about walking with poles, and we just give him the hardest time about this stand-up that he does.
He even played in that he was like, oh yeah, urban polling, like he didn't know we were going to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm known for two things around the office. I'm known as the skunk boy, as we heard earlier.
Yes.
And I'm known as the urban poler because of the story I did. Urban polling, it's the people who are walking with the poles on the street, and that's why I wanted to do this story, because I really wasn't sure what it was. And they admit too that they get weird looks. It's like, why are these people walking with poles? Yeah. But 90% of your muscles are being worked out. And when we were shooting the stand-up,
still defended it.
I know.
Yeah, hey, when we were shooting the stand-up, it looks easy, but it was very difficult.
Yeah. Well, you had dress shoes on.
And I had dress shoes. I was dressed as a fine reporter. Shit, I guess.
I love the stand-up because it's just Kevin strolling with a bunch of ladies down the street. I love
Sunday
it.
afternoon.
Do you have any other experiences you want to?
You know what, Jazz Fest for me was very cool. We hosted that together back in June, and I'm a pretty big music fan, but that was my first time at Jazz Fest. So especially opening night, which is the night we hosted, that was very cool to be a part of. The bands rocked. The Dirty Catfish Brass Band and Moses Mays were great. And by the end of that night, there were hundreds of people at the Cube there.
It coincided with FIFA, so it was one of the busiest years they've ever had. It was amazing.
So it was a very cool experience for me, and definitely something I'd want to go back to again this year for sure.
Yes.
Federal International Football Association?
I'm not sure if that's it.
That's not right. I'm totally wrong.
From the sports side of things, though.
There we go.
A lot of great people I was able to interview this year. Jonathan Toews being one of them, bringing back the Stanley Cup to Winnipeg after the Hawks won in June. Jay Onrait came in twice, which was amazing. John Montgomery, who won a gold medal at the 2010 Olympic Games in Vancouver. But I think my favorite experience was going to the first ever Jets playoff game at an arena we cannot say on this show, their home arena, for the first time in 19 years. And I went with Jeff Bromley, who's been a fan all of his life. And I could tell that was really special for him. It was special for me, even though I didn't grow up as a Jets fan. But just the noise in that building, as you know, we were wrestling fans back in the day. I went to 2 WrestleManias as a kid. 68,000 people at the Skydome was not louder than that Jets home rink crowd. So
who says I'm still not a wrestling fan?
That's true, sorry. Well, we were bigger fans back in the day.
True.
But that was probably my favorite experience. That was incredible.
Wow.
Yes.
How about you, Tracy? Do you have any?
Oh, well, the first one was when we did the Santa Claus Parade a couple weeks ago, and standing on Portage Avenue and having the snowbirds fly overhead of you was simply amazing. So I'll never ever forget that. And we went to Stars too. We did the fundraiser where we went to a secret island and landed on a rock, and it was pretty amazing the work that those people do. But again, like Mike, so many people that we've interviewed, but I guess my favorite moment was sitting on a couch with David Suzuki and not talking about the environment or how bad the earth is, but actually talking about family and people. So he had written this book called Letters to My Grandchildren, and he wrote to every grandchild that he had a personal letter. So a part about him, his wife, his family, and it was just so wonderful because we kind of shared the same sentiments, is that our stories are not being told. Our children are going to grow up with their children and not know anything about us. So it was very, very interesting. And I think as soon as the camera clicked off, David looked at me and he says, "That was the most unusual interview I've ever had." So, but anyways, thank you.
Yeah. That's good. Well, one of my favorite experiences from this past year was Rudy Gower and I got to go up halfway up North Manitoba with the military, which was really cool. And we'd been following them as they were preparing for this Arctic exercise, but it was record-breaking temperatures. Like, it was insanely cold, and we got to fly up on a military Twin Otter. They were in from the Yukon, and we flew up there. But all of their snowmobiles broke down. So like nothing was happening. So it was because they couldn't get them going. So it was literally Rudy and I just like standing out on the middle of Lake Manitoba, and it was like minus 45, and we were like looking up into the sky every 5 minutes to like see when this plane would come back. But it was such a cool experience. And then when we got back a couple days later, I started getting calls from UFO experts because a rumor had started that the military was there after a UFO had crashed. And these were people like professors and doctors calling me like, what did you see? And I was like, well, just a bunch of broken down snowmobiles. But that was an amazing experience. The plane ride was awesome. It was super cold, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. But Mike, we've got some of your favorite stories coming up, so stick with us right here on the Best of Go.